Good evening, everyone. At this time, it's now 6:30, and I'd like to call December 29th, 2025 regular council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks.
Here.
Brown is absent. Eastman.
Here.
Miles.
Here.
Mojica.
Here.
Montez Dioca is absent. Newberry.
Here.
Parson.
Here.
Jablisco.
Here. Everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Notice of this meeting has been sent to the official newspapers, and adequate and electronic notice has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act as required by law.
Now, at this time, Mr. Ladolfi, would you like to have some words, please?
Bob.
First, let me thank council for coming out in the middle of the holiday season and spending a few moments with me and with us. I'm going to real briefly go through the agenda. We only have 4 items this evening. I do want to spend a moment and talk about the first one, and that's a resolution that awards a contract to remove some trees. And we've talked about this in different settings, but we had an arborist do a review of all the shade trees in the city a couple years back. He made a recommendation to remove a substantial number of trees, and this is one of the contracts that's being awarded in furtherance of that recommendation. And that's a pretty easy recommendation to follow, and I use the term recommendation advisedly. When an arborist says that tree needs to come down, it's pretty easy to concur with that and say, okay, we're going to remove that tree. But there are many times when you get a recommendation that the tree doesn't need to be removed. It needs treatment, it needs to be periodically inspected, it needs to be periodically pruned and trimmed, may ultimately need to be removed. There are often times that we choose to remove those trees. And the reason is that an arborist's recommendation that a tree does not need to immediately be removed is simply that. It's a recommendation. It's not a mandate, it's a guide. So we use that as one factor that we will utilize in making those determinations. Multitude of other factors. How diseased is the tree? What's the anticipated longevity of that tree? What's the potential that tree will shed limbs and cause personal injury or damage to personal property? In all probability, it's on a walkway. How heavily traversed is that walkway? A lot of pedestrians on it. Is it a route where a lot of school children walk, where there would be real potential for harm? What's the planting area? How wide is it? Are the tree roots causing damage to sidewalks, causing expense to homeowners? Are they protruding into sanitary or storm sores, causing the city problem or perhaps homeowners issues? So all those types of factors we look at, and sometimes it would be the BA that makes that decision. A decision is made to remove a tree that an arborist might not have recommended be removed. And the one I didn't hit on, but I really want to hit on it hard, is there's an accessibility issue. Trees sometimes are planted in areas that cause real accessibility issues. Tree roots that show through to the surface can very often cause accessibility issues. So individuals with disabilities that are not fully able to traverse, that may use a wheelchair, a cane, crutches, even baby carriages are unable to access some walkways because of the way the trees are planted or they've grown. Those types of issues we factor in all the time when we look at a recommendation by an arborist whether to remove or not remove a tree. And I think that's important that we reiterate that in public and frankly for the public, because oftentimes we'll come to the conclusion that removal of a tree that may not have been recommended to be removed because of all the other factors involved makes a lot of sense to remove, and we do that. So I spent enough time. The other three, so we have the resolution of award. The other three resolutions are from finance. The first is mandatory. It implements a corrective action plan. You received the audit. You acted favorably upon the audit. You accepted it. This is a corrective action plan that our chief financial officer puts together to implement the recommendations that are made in the audit. We're permitted, the second resolution is a transfer resolution. It's very straightforward. We're permitted in November and December to transfer money within accounts in the budget. It's a common practice. Quite frankly, it's the reason we asked you to come in so late in the year. It gave Frank the opportunity to really drill down into what those transfers needed to be, make them as precise as possible. And the last resolution, you may or may not have seen this type of resolution before. It creates an emergency appropriation. We may come back to you next year, by the way, to create a funding mechanism for that. But it creates an emergency appropriation to fund terminal leave payments. A lot of those are out of the police department. They're unanticipated. There is some latitude within the collective bargaining agreements as to how and when they can be taken. So this is a common mechanism that's utilized by a lot of municipalities to fund those terminal leave payments, and we're asking you to move favorably on that tonight. So that is all that the administration has, but the mayor did ask me to extend his sincere hope for a happy and healthy new year going into 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Landolfi. Now, any of my council members have any questions to Mr. Landolfi? No, we don't? Okay, we're going to consider on. Hearing for citizens. Obviously, I see no one in the audience, so I'm just going to ask our clerk, is there anybody who signed up?
No one signed up.
Okay, no one has signed up, and we're going to continue.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, so move. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks?
Yes.
Brown is absent. Eastman?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Montestioka is absent. Newberry?
Yes.
Parson?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes. Okay, now we're going to talk about the resolution. Resolution AR 290-25 through AR 293-25 will be adopted as one motion and consent agenda. Do any of the council members wish to remove or reassign any to consult agenda? Anyone? No. No, okay. May I have a motion to adopt and a second?
So moved.
I second.
I have 1 and 2 were adopted, okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks?
Yes.
Brown is absent. Eastman?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Montestioka is absent. Newberry?
Yes.
Parson?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes. At this time, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.
Okay. Second.